All right, listen, it's always great to see this guy because years ago somebody went to Carey Pinkowski and said, we all throw a little race in Chicago. All it's turned into is the greatest marathon in the world. And he is here because we are on the eve of another great Chicago Marathon.
Yeah.
How are you?
Steve, good morning. Jane, good to see you. Thanks for having me on. Yes, 45th running of the Bank of America Chicago Marathon. This marvelous tradition continues.
And it started out with 5 guys.
Start with 5 guys. But we're just looking forward to a great day. Sunday, October 8th, this Sunday, record number of participants. And it appears Mother Nature is going to really cooperate with us.
What is the extended
be
forecast?
A great weekend. It's going to be just the perfect weather to run.
What are we
It's
talking?
not too
60,
hot.
65 at the start?
Oh, it's going down, I think, into the low 40s.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a big turnaround. So we're getting a great summer kind of kickoff early in the week and then perfect marathon.
Okay, now this is going to shock you, and you and I have known each other for a long time, but I don't run the marathon, but I've watched it many times.
Well, that's important.
In person. And like how other people have watched it, I hit the wall. I hit the wall. But what is the perfect temperature for these runners? After all that training, everything, is it 45, 50 degrees?
I think so. Mary Ellen, our participant here.
Mary Ellen.
She can give her perspective.
Who is Mary Ellen Clifford?
Are you asking me?
No, I'm waiting for you to introduce Mary Ellen Clifford and the title.
Mary Ellen is one of our participants in the marathon, and she's got a phenomenal story. She is going to be running with her 4 daughters. So think about that. That's
and it goes back even farther than that because this was your coach, right?
Yes, I coached all 4 daughters at Mother McAuley in cross country, and that was their introduction to running. And then one day my oldest said, "Hey, Mom, do you want to do a marathon?" I said, "Sure, I'll do another one." So that's how it all started.
And how cool is it to have all 4 running?
Amazing. I warned them when we started this whole process that it just consumes you, and they said, "We're good. We're good. We're going to do this."
Because you were running marathons. You have obviously ran marathons. We said, yes, I'll do another one. So they grew up with a mom that's coaching cross country, always into running. So it's kind of like you see your mom doing it, so we like it as well. So that's super cool that they're running with you.
First time for all 4?
It's the second for 3 of them, and then my 4th daughter, this is her first marathon.
Will you be emotional?
It will. It was pretty emotional when we finished last time. We have some great pictures. It was just an amazing thing to share with your daughters. A lot of people would never have that opportunity.
Incredible.
How many marathons for you?
This will be 7.
And
maybe 8. I'm
Jane
not
just
sure.
checked that 7 more than me.
And 7 more than me as well. Although I do love to. I used to watch you guys would run through Little Italy, and I'm out there with screaming. I'm cheering everybody on with your numbers. Do you like that when people yell your name because your name's right on the front of your shirt?
100%. That makes such a huge difference, especially when you're at mile 20. Those last 6 are just a gut check. And
Now, you have a strategy thing, though, right? Because the girls, I don't know what the status of strength is as far as running goes for the girls. Are you planning to all run in a pack?
we did run together for our first one. My oldest would like to break 5 hours. My second would like to break 4 hours. So they're going to break away.
Wow.
They're going to do their own thing this year, which I encourage them to do. I want them to just have a great race.
Do you run for time or run for the experience?
The experience for sure. The oldest two are going to run for time this year, but mine's it's just an amazing experience to share. Me, experience. I mean, I'm not one of those people that says, oh, I just want to finish. I know I'll finish. I'd like to beat my last marathon time. I think I'm in better shape, and I think I can do it with the encouragement of the two younger girls.
Sure.
I mean, it sounds like my wife. My wife ran 4 or 5 marathons, and she may still do another one, and she's in fabulous shape.
I literally, when people are running, tears are in my eyes because I can see them going.
It's an incredible thing to see live.
You know,
and you have a great. You have the best seat in the house from their studio here. You can see the...
right down
Columbus.
This
is the runway.
This is the best.
Yeah,
this is the runway when everybody's taking off.
You should probably think about maybe renting the space for...
Well, we do that a lot with the big events downtown.
This is amazing. Now, since I'm not running, who's the favorite?
Well, I think we got to look at a young man named Kelvin Kiptum, who's coming to Chicago, coming to the United States for the first time.
Is this another one of these Kenyan stars?
He's a Kenyan. He is, in all the years I've done this, he is probably one of the most talented athletes I've worked with. I put him in the same level with Khalid Kanuchi, who's one of our former champions, Sammy Wanjiru. But he ran 2 hours, 1 minute, and 25 seconds in London during a light rain.
What is the pace?
Wow.
What is that a mile?
Fast.
He will run a little over 4 minutes and 35 seconds a mile.
It's just
the whole way.
insane.
Yeah, so he's He's in very good shape, so we got to look at him. But I saw him run.
Well,
in
you'd
London.
have a story if he was a fat guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I saw him compete in London, and I was very, very impressed with him. And I think he's going to be very.
What about on the ladies' side?
The ladies' side, our defending champion Ruth Chepengedich. She was on world record pace and had just a bad mile 23, where she slowed down a bit and missed the world record by 8 seconds. That record was broken in Berlin a few weeks ago, so I think she's going to be on a mission. And then Sifan Hassan, who is she's a 3-time Olympic gold medalist. She's won London. She's going to be here. So we're going to have some great competition up front, some great Americans. We've got the Paris Olympics looming next summer, so we have a lot of athletes that are looking to qualify for the Olympics, for the Olympic trials. So I think we're going to see with the weather and the quality of the athletes, probably the deepest, best field, some great performances.
If you've never seen this live, it is moving. Yes. It is fun. And you've done a great job as the director of this thing for years to set up places where people can, fly around the city and see their people in a lot of different areas and venues. Yep. And if you do a little research ahead of time, 4 or 5, you go to the website, you guys have laid out great ways to watch.
I think that's the uniqueness of the Bank of America Chicago Marathon compared to our friends in Boston or New York is the fact that it is a great tour of the city. You get to see wonderful architecture and the neighborhoods, all of the fabric of this great community, but it's very accessible to friends and family members. We'll have over 30,000 people Sunday buy day passes and make their way to different locations around the city.
Yeah, it's great.
So it's a great way. It's a great way for our participants, and many of them are in Chicago for the first time, but for their friends and family members to discover the city also.
More with the executive director and our brand new friend, teacher Mary Ellen. Are you still teaching?
I am, yes.
And what's the school?
Mother McAuley, Mighty Max. Go Mighty Max.
I think the choir came and sang for us last year.
Yeah,
everybody back this year. All right, more to come. The guests are the director, the executive race director of the Chicago Marathon for over 30 years, Carey Pinkowski. He can't find real work. and Mary Ellen Clifford, who is not just a great teacher, she's a great mom. She's going to run with all 4 of her daughters this weekend. I was talking to Carey off the air, and you and I have known each other for years, but I get choked up thinking about all these cool stories. And, year to year we hear something about somebody that's gotten over a tremendous health issue and they've gone on to run the marathon. Or we hear about somebody in their 70s or 80s who can outrun me, who are there. Or, families getting back together or things. You got a marriage this year?
Well, we're working with, this Wrigley, getting married at Wrigley, out in front of the Wrigley building here. So I think we have, Dana would know, I think we have maybe 15 couples that are going to get married and run the marathon the next day. So, and we have one couple that both are going to run. So there's, they're going to get married. One of the two, husband or wife,
will run.
Just the way they drew up the honeymoon.
Do they run holding hands, or they're like, okay, I can't hold your hand anymore. I got to go.
We talked to a couple that are from Brooklyn. They're coming here. They couldn't find a venue. They were having challenges, as everyone does with wedding plans, a lot of back and forth. And they decided to come to Chicago and get married and then run the Bank of America.
It's the easiest way to get married.
There's another advantage.
Takes a lot of the pressure off.
And I'm not knocking the New York Marathon because it's a great spectacle too, but in the New York Marathon, there's too many guys going, hey, Joey! Hey, you slow, Joey! Pick it up!
Get out of the way.
Here you got rooting, cheering,
and rooting.
On every corner. What do you want to say about Bank of America? Because they've been exceptional partners, haven't they?
Yeah, we're celebrating our 15th anniversary as title sponsor of the marathon, and Rita Cook, who is our market president, is amazing. She is so behind the event. Not only what we do with the marathon, but the 8K in the spring, and then we launched a 13-point half marathon on the west side. But she's a real supporter of our charity program, which we're going to hit some new benchmarks this year with our fundraising. So just a great partner. We've got a team of Bank of America employees that are going to be at the finish line, at a cheer zone. So they really roll their sleeves up and help out.
Do you have any idea statistically how many repeaters you've had or you have in a given race? I mean, for instance, this year, 47,000 participants. How many first-timers? Any idea?
About 20% of our participants are first-time marathon runners, which is kind of what we're known for. It's
great.
It's a convenient event, so I think our first-time marathon runners. But we have a gentleman from the Chicagoland area, Randy Burt, who has trained for, started, and finished all 44 marathons. So he's going for his 45th marathon.
Wow.
There's three men.
Tom, we got to get that dude on.
He's a minister. We got 3 guys that have done this for 44 years, which I think is probably one of the more amazing stories.
That's
crazy.
And their millionth finisher for the marathon will happen on Sunday.
Yeah, we're gonna exceed 1 million finishers this year, which is for the 45 history, which is amazing. I'm humbled by the support and the demand.
Well, you're a modest guy. I mean, you should be quite proud of everything you've done and the staff you put together. How many people does it take to do this race? Volunteers, staff, the whole deal?
Sure, we have a team of 40 individuals that we work year round on this, but the ecosystem is truly amazing because there really isn't any city agency that's not involved in some way. From the Park District to the police, fire, all of the different agencies, Department of Transportation, CDOT, everybody. And I think the city of Chicago is really the great city in the world to produce an event because the way that we plan, the integration, the transparency, we really work together on a year-round planning cycle. And the result is the marathon. So we work together. It's a great, one of the great honors that I've had is working with this team, and it really is. We have our big meeting tomorrow. We put all the finishing touches.
I'm getting fired up. I want to go run.
You could do it. You could do it.
Yes, I could. But you know what? We all need a little inspiration. And Mary Ellen, the reason you ran your first marathon is because you saw Carey giving a speech at your high school that you're teaching at. So tell, if you can remember the speech, what was the inspiring? He's inspiring me right now just talking about this event. But what was it? Give us the inspiration that he gave you.
Well, he came and he brought Marion Sutton, who's a 2-time winner of the Chicago Marathon, and we got to meet her, and I thought, wow, I think at the time I thought, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. But, years later, I'm thinking, wow, I have a picture with a 2-time marathon winner. And Carey came and said, we have all these people that are putting on this great race, and it's, the best city in the world, and anybody can do a marathon. You just have to prepare. And that's when I thought, wow, who goes out and runs 26 miles at once?
And what's wrong with them?
That's what we're thinking.
And then I thought I could do that. I think I could do that if I put in the training, and so I did.
And number 8
but
this weekend.
He was really my first. That's when we started. My high school cross country team started volunteering at the water stops for the Chicago Marathon.
And you're the perfect person to answer this. And Carey, you know this every year. First-time runners, they're understandably nervous. And they're worried about finishing all that. And I've talked to runners in the past. I talked to a friend of mine yesterday about this, who's run multiple marathons but is concerned about finishing this one. I would hope, as someone who doesn't run these marathons, that first step you take, you've already won.
Yeah.
The fact that you've committed, you've done the training, you've won. And if you can enjoy the experience while you're doing it and see this beautiful city and just enjoy being a part of it, I would think that'd be key. But what do you want to say to first-time runners?
My youngest is going to be a first-time runner, Tess. This is her first marathon, and I talked to her yesterday and I said, so are you getting nervous? And she said, I'm terrified.
Oh.
And I said, this is going to be an amazing experience. We're all going to start together. What happens after the start line, we'll sort of see, but I know I'll finish with Tess, and this is, for me to do all of their first marathons with them was just so incredible.
I'm getting the chills just hearing you talk. This is going to be great.
And if they don't finish, they're grounded. All 4 of them.
I just say, you did the training. You're going to be fine. You did the training. You're ready. You're going to cross the finish line. There's no question about that because I'll be with you and I'll make sure you do. So first-time marathoners, you guys, you put in the work.
Training starts 6 months in advance?
18 weeks.
18 weeks. Okay.
I mean, you can start it late spring, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It could be 18. It could be 6 months, depending on what kind of shape you're in. But our official training was 18 weeks.
The thing I never was able to wrap my head around when my wife was training for these is you don't run the full marathon because to me, I would need that mental leap to prove I could do it. But you top out, Carey, at 20 usually?
Yeah, that seems to be, especially in the training groups around the Chicagoland areas, 20, 22 miles for the long run and building up. Maybe you would do 2 of those in preparation, but it's this build up, and then you kind of you kind of go on your reserves and your energy and enthusiasm, I guess, right, Mary Ellen?
Yeah, that's it. The enthusiasm. I mean, I'm so excited to be having all 4 of us on the start line.
Yeah,
this is
really
just
cool.
All 5 of us, I should say, the 4 girls and myself.
And I think that's part of the
great
mystique
story.
too, because if you train for 20, there's that
Can you do it?
you're going into an area that you've never gone before. So
And then you've made this. This is such a great accomplishment. And the cheering. Listen, if you're not running, go out and cheer for these runners, because it is truly amazing to witness them running and giving everything they got, even if they're walking, because it's the end of the race. Like, they're doing it, and that just is so moving to me.
Yeah, I should be very proud.
The people in the neighborhood, they're so proud of their neighborhood. You know, you get to Pilsen and you're getting toward the higher miles, and they're just so proud. Welcome to our neighborhood. And every neighborhood you run through, people are just so proud to be.
Sure, and
And I say this as a Sox fan for next year when you run by, when you run within vision of guaranteed
too.
rate, just drop your head for a minute
our Sox,
and say
right.
a little prayer for the Sox next
Us
year.
Sox fans, exactly.
So the organizations that group together runners and train together and put together these charitable groups, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger each year.
Sure.
But you can get involved with that now for next year, get a group together. It gets harder and harder to get in. There's only so much space, so don't be waiting until January. You're out.
Yeah.
Consider next year something you ought to start mentally and by way of preparation now. But as far as new stuff this year, anything else you want to mention? Website new stuff? Anything else we ought to know?
Yeah, I mean, if you go to our website, chicagomarathon.com, all the information is there on where to get around, what to do, whether it's at our Abbott Health and Fitness Expo. We have a 5K the day before. If you want to volunteer, I think you can still volunteer. I think today is the last day that you can sign up. But there's just all the information. You can download our app, which is a great tool to have race weekend with live streaming, information about elite athletes, where to go, how to get around the course. So there's some great information out there. Steve, you mentioned our charity program. We're so proud of that aspect of the event. We're going to raise over $30 million Sunday morning. So excited about that. A lot of local charities that participate, and we're going to go over $300 million since 2002. So one of the pillars of the event is the philanthropic aspect of it. And we just felt that it's such a natural integration and marriage between the work and the training. And a couple of Mary Ellen's daughters are running for charity too. So very, very proud of that aspect of the event.
And your own kid, elite runner or just somebody that loves to do it?
My daughter, she is a marathon. She ran in high school, and she has run Chicago, New York, and London. And of course, Chicago is her favorite race of all. Yes. So she exactly. But she's kind of picked up by association. She's been around it since she's been little and loves it and loves the sport.
Got to be a thrill for you.
Thrill for us. Thrill for my wife and I to see her finish in New York, where I wasn't had other things going on. We were able to see her at the finish line and spend some time.
All right.
Which is
I'm
great.
so excited.
Last question, most important question of all. If you want to see your person, what do they need to wear? Like a duck helmet or something? Because I think if you're going to watch your person, you don't understand that in the packs, it's tough to pick them up. There are only so many colors, only so many ways you can dress it up and still be dressed appropriately for the race. What's the coolest thing you two have seen? Have you seen anybody super creative?
You know, what's really part of a tradition is people make these really clever signs that they work on all year. That
The spectators, you hold it up.
Spectators. But usually, what we tell everyone is like, pick a mile on the course a little bit, because I'll meet you at mile 26, and there's 10,000 people there. Mile 15, move like halfway point or a landmark that you can get to, and go to our website, download the app, and you can get to different locations. And we have 26.2 miles of viewing area, so there's a lot of space that you can get to the curb and cheer a loved one.
And the people that dress up like the Hancock and run the entire race as a building, they don't annoy me at all. The people that run backwards, your pacers are unbelievable.
People carrying a canoe over their head. What are you doing? You're running.
Good Lord. Well, congrats, Carey. You're an amazing guy.
Congrats.
Steve, Jane, thank you so much for having us on this morning, and thank you guys for talking about us for all the years and helping us promote. So.
It's the only reason I came back to radio. And,
thanks so much.
Mary Ellen, you have a beautiful Sunday with your girls.
Yes.
Thank you. It's been an incredible experience. Thank you so much. It was great to meet Carey again, and I really appreciate you guys letting me talk about my favorite thing.
We love talking about the great things in the city, and this is certainly one of them.